Hello and welcome to NTA Nationwide. I'm Naja'atu Tijjani. Remember to follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our other social media handles displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared Nigeria's intention to completely eliminate the use of petrol and diesel generators by 2060 as part of a multi-pronged energy transition plan aimed at achieving energy security and net zero emissions, making a strong case for technical and financial support from the United States. The president also says a $10 billion investment is, however, needed per annum to achieve the objectives. This came to the fore at a high-level session on supporting conservation, climate adaptation and energy transition as part of the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
With the theme, Building Our Green Future Together, the session attended by African and U.S. leaders as well as key stakeholders provided a forum for showcasing shared efforts towards conserving and restoring Africa's ecosystems as well as rich natural resources. Discussions also centered on diversifying the continent's energy matrix, realizing energy security goals, and building sustainable supply chains.
Africa will be at the center of the clean energy transition. Its renewable energy potential is second to none. It's home to roughly a third of all critical minerals essential to the technology that will power the clean energy economy. But with nearly half of sub-Saharan Africa's population lacking reliable access to electricity, and the population set to grow to more than 2 billion people by 2050, how that transition is made will be decisive in shaping our future climate. The United States will work closely with African countries as they determine how best to meet their specific energy needs.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who addressed participants at the closed session, takes pride in the fact that Nigeria is the first African country to develop a detailed energy transition plan towards tackling both energy poverty and climate change, as well as delivering net zero emissions by 2060. Already, he said, the country has embarked on several reforms and unveiled impactful projects aimed at generating 30 gigawatts of electricity by 2030, with renewable energy contributing 30% of the energy mix. Delivering the energy transition plan, the president said, requires $1.9 trillion spending up to 2060, which translates to $10 billion per annum. He therefore made a case for Nigeria to be included in the G7 climate partnership list for the co-creation of just energy transition. President Buhari also seeks the support of the United States for Nigeria's full participation in the global carbon markets, as well as developing innovative business models and integrating renewables efficiently into the national grid. This, the president said, is a time like none other to unlock the development potentials of Nigeria and transform the lives of millions of people by tapping into the potential returns in the yet to be fully optimized Nigeria's enormous market. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Senate is calling on the Central Bank of Nigeria to consider the adjustment of its new cash withdrawal limit. This is sequel to the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions in an interaction with the reappointed deputy governors of the Apex Bank during their screening. The report, however, notes that the Senate will continue to carry out efficient oversight of the bank on the adjustments. Meanwhile, the confirmation of the appointments of Aisha Ahmed and Edward Adamu as deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria is for a second and final term. The Senate has also advised the Ministry of Power and the Bureau of Public Enterprises on the need to exercise caution in handling the concession process of the Zungeru hydroelectric power plant. This was at an investigative hearing on the process of the concession declared open by the President of the Senate. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Gunshola reports.
Zungeru hydroelectric power plant was conceived in 2012 as part of the federal government's efforts to address energy crisis. Attempts by the Bureau of Public Enterprises to concession the power plant while the project is yet to be completed is a matter of concern to the Senate.
While a segment of the public has applauded the modest gains of the privatization of government-owned power assets in Nigeria, mounting challenges that emerged after the exercise have made many question the credibility of the process that produced the successor companies and the viability of such companies, hence the need for extreme caution in the concessioning of the remaining government-owned power assets.
While the Ministry of Power believes the process is in order, the Senate cautions that the rush to complete the process must be checked.
The Ministry of Power supports the concession of the 700 megawatts Zungeru hydroelectric power plant as other hydro power plants in the country.
Why don't you wait and let us be sure that once you concession this plant, the person is not coming back with any story that a defect plant was handed over to him.
Really not a rush. We're just being mindful of the timing that a typical concession transaction or process takes.
For the Senate, given the previous experience of the nation in similar situations, the BPA must come up with a new timetable that captured all concerns raised. From the National Assembly, Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
Still on legislative matters, the House of Representatives says development of strategies on sustainable energy by the public and private sector will enhance the implementation of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act. The House observed that challenges of power supply, which the country has grappled with for decades, can be overcome when government focuses more on exploration of renewable energy like nuclear, solar, biomass and wind. The motion from Chukwuma Umeoji also suggested the establishment of a framework for private sector investment towards increasing utilization of these alternatives. The United States will demonstrate its commitment to Africa with the donation of $55 billion to the continent. This came to the fore at the ongoing U.S.-Africa Leadership Summit. Details with Musa Baba Aliu.
It is day one of the three-day leadership summit put together by the U.S. government under the leadership of Joe Biden.
It is wonderful.
U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken was in charge in the scheduled activities on Tuesday. He engaged some selected African leaders in discussion on security, climate change, and good leadership.
Over the next few days, we will be announcing additional investments to make it easier for students to participate in exchange programs between our countries, to increase trade opportunities for members of the African diaspora, and to support African entrepreneurs and small businesses. Each of these investments is guided by one overarching goal: to continue building our partnership so that we can better address the shared challenges we face, and ultimately, we can build a safer, more secure, more prosperous future for all of us.
In the area of climate change, Blinken announced that the United States is committing more than $1 billion to support Africa to mitigate climate change. He also commended Nigeria, Zambia, and Rwanda on their efforts on renewable energy.
Nigeria has set bold targets and robust regulations for methane reductions, the first country in Africa to do so, which could reduce air pollutants by a third and avert tens of thousands of deaths. Equatorial Guinea just raised its commitment to cut emissions by 35% by 2030.
We're working to make sure they and we do this while doing more to help low-income countries avoid long-term fossil addiction, including through increased financing and ensuring that there is private investment that will benefit the people of Africa, especially the youth.
President of Niger, Mohamed Bazoum, and that of Congo appealed for more support from the United States in agriculture and insecurity on the continent. This, they believe, will build on the United States' long-standing leadership and partnership in development, economic growth, health, and security in Africa. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's now join Michael in Lagos for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Naja'atu. The period when Nigerians place premium on imported items over domestic products is gradually fading out due to the implementation of the federal government's executive order aimed at promoting standards and quality assurance. Towards monitoring compliance with this policy, regulatory agencies are keeping surveillance to safeguard the infiltration of substandard goods into the country. Abolade Salami reports.
With several attempts made by governments and concerned authorities to curb production, circulation, and importation of fake and substandard goods, some unpatriotic Nigerians still devise dubious means of circumventing the process. To curb the abnormally, regulatory framework and industry-specific recommendations were introduced by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to ascertain certification of approved products.
And when it meets the requirement, that means when it conforms, then it is given a MANCAP certificate. And that MANCAP certificate means mandatory conformity assessment program. The government expects that whatever you produce within the country, whatever you are selling out to consumers, must meet the minimum requirements of the standard.
Since the regulatory body made it difficult for manufacturers of substandard products to operate freely, Nigerian market is being sanitized and domestic products are gaining ground even beyond the shores of the country.
We've been doing a tremendous work to make sure that the cables that are produced in member companies are of best standards, and we have continued to maintain this standard, and that is why Nigerian cable is termed the best cable that you can actually see in the markets.
And almost all our products are MANCAP certified. And so it helps us because we work with standard, and so we maintain the standard. And since quality is our promise to the nation, that is why we have good relationship with SON from inception.
Key players say sustaining this momentum is key to economic prosperity, since standards is the life and blood of any country desirous of growth. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Although the queues are yet to totally disappear, but fuel situation in Lagos is showing greater promise, with the number of filling stations dispensing increasing. Motorists, however, want monitoring measures to be heightened so as to guarantee availability as the festive holidays approach. I was earlier on the streets of Lagos to monitor the situation, and here's the reports. This is one of the convergence points for motorists and commuters willing to connect major places in Lagos. But for Modupe Ajayi, the next destination from here comes with overwhelming price.
In a day now, I used to spend 1.5 on transport. So I have to trek down to where I'm going now. It's a bit far.
The pressure on transport fare actually started here, as the jostle for petrol is still for the fittest. In fact, this crew was caught in the web as the manager of one of the petrol stations visited threatens to destroy the camera. In the last 1 month, Christopher Osai said he has spent more time at the filling station than at home, and today his chance of getting the commodities seems slim.
It's too much. I can't sleep in my house again because I want to use fuel. In fact, there's enough fuel, but we can't see it.
The cost is as much as 270 naira per liter. I'm begging the government to do what they can because the stress is really hitting on us.
Kayode Anuluwapo, a banker, believes government strategy on enforcing the sales of the commodity is working.
Sincerely speaking, in the past for like some weeks now, the queue used to be all the way from down towards the bridge, but now the queue is not that much. So things is getting better now. They are selling it.
This I didn't call it queue, considering what was happening 3 weeks ago.
As the festive holidays draw nearer, the fate of residents seems to be hanging in the balance on whether enforcement on government stance on prompt dispensing of fuel across petrol stations in the metropolis will ease the scarcity for the joy of the season to be shared with family and friends. In Lagos.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Enugu is our next port of call where comfort is standing by. Please stay.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring an impeccable personality with purposeful leadership. Alhaji Mohammed Mitakubi, the Executive National President of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria.
In 774 local governments, will be able to put all our structures in everywhere. I'll be able to bring the Retians members together to reconcile them to come and work for the progress of the association.
Welcome to a world of fun and excitement as we also present an assemblage of professionals in the media space. Some compelling NTA programs, current trends in the fashion world, ICT, sports, entertainment, and lots more. Get a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. Go do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up.
Thank you for joining us in Enugu. The Nigerian Air Force (NAF) has winged 17 helicopter pilots of 405 Helicopter Combat Training Group, having completed their basic flying training courses in International Flying School in Enugu. Chimaroke Ugu now reports.
The 17 helicopter pilots were given 5 years in-house training and undertook the integrated professional helicopter courses designated to produce pilots with NCAA commercial pilot license with instrument ratings and night flying privileges. Each pilot during the training flew about 130 hours and cumulatively an average of 2,000 hours.
They marked another milestone in the history of the Nigerian Air Force. We have completed another step of helicopter pilot training house after 5 years.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Ameo, represented while winging the officers, noted that the ceremony was a testament to the commitment of NAV towards enhancing and sustaining critical air power capabilities as required for joint force in pursuit of the nation's national security.
Dedicated on this consideration that the Nigerian Air Force spared nothing at developing its human resources, not just for sustainability, but with expected competencies and proficiency.
The winged officers promised to key into the efforts to place NAF at the dominant role in delivering their constitutional mandate of securing the nation.
On behalf of the newly winged pilots, I wish to express our profound gratitude to the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal for the opportunity granted us to have undergone this training, the success which we now celebrate today.
The Chief of Air Staff maintained that NAF is poised to train and retrain their officers for improved operational efficiency. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
In line with the National Population Commission to sensitize the people on the forthcoming census, the Federal Commissioner of the NPC in Enugu State, Ejike Eze, has led the commission on a roadshow in the state. Okechukwu Agubama has the details.
The roadshow is part of the Commission's awareness drive to sensitize the masses on the need to be counted in the 2023 census. The national population, in collaboration with National Orientation Agency, moved around the metropolis to educate the people on the need for electronic registration for the conduct of the census exercise. The Federal Commissioner, Dr. Ejike Eze, said that is the mandate of the Commission to inform the public on the development of the Commission.
What we are doing today is that we are taking the advocacy and publicity to the streets of Enugu so that they can see what we are doing.
The roadshow train took through Ogui Road, Obeteme Market, Stadium Axis, and Artisan. In Enugu, Okechukwu Agobama, NTA News.
And thus, the contribution from here is back to Naja'atu in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Comfort. Meta, owners of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, have announced steps to protect the integrity of Nigeria's forthcoming general elections. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this at the ongoing PMB scorecard series in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
I said the increasing resort to fake news and disinformation by some political actors and a section of the media constitutes a present danger to the success of the election.
Before now, the Information and Culture Minister has consistently warned about the dangers the 2023 elections face if fake news and disinformation are not checked, as the platform of choice has always remained the social media. So, at this edition of the PMB Scorecard 2015-2023 series, the minister announced what Meta has agreed to do.
In this regard, I want to acknowledge the announcement by Meta, the owners of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, that it will take clearly outlined steps to protect the integrity of the forthcoming elections. Specifically, Meta detailed the actions it plans to take to combat disinformation and to make political advertising more transparent.
To this end, Lai Mohammed dropped this advice for other platforms.
Meta has demonstrated a great sense of responsibility, and we hope the company will live up to its promise. We also urge other platform owners like Google, owners of YouTube, and others, ByteDance, owners of TikTok, Twitter, and the Telegram Group Incorporated, owners of Telegram Messenger, to emulate Meta by taking positive steps to prevent the spread of fake news, disinformation, and hate speech.
Paving the way for the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umana, who began his presentation with the policy framework put in place by the President Muhammad Buhari-led administration's plan for the region. And to achieve it, he said a policy initiative was drawn.
The approval granted by Mr. President to the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs to supervise the operations of the Niger Delta Commission, and also under that policy actions and initiatives to also mention the forensic audits which Mr. President approved.
With a presidential mandate, the ministry has lived above board. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has charged political parties and their supporters to adhere to electoral guidelines while carrying out activities of the party. Kogi State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Gabriel Longpet gave the charge during a meeting with political party representatives as well as traditional rulers in the state. Francis Udojo reports.
Is bordering on the need for stakeholders to stick to electoral guidelines, especially during campaigns, avoidance of hate speech, thuggery, before, during and after elections dominated discussions at the meeting of stakeholders.
The law says you have to inform INEC and the police 10 days before your date of campaign and rallies. However, we've not been able to receive a single notification at the state level by any political party with respect to when they are going to hold their rallies or when they are going to gather, and whether those have been given to the police, I'm not aware. But be mindful that the law is very clear on that.
It will be unfair when you have a candidate that cannot campaign. When you have a candidate that if you go there, you see. But our Israel commissioner is making us to understand that it is a thing of the past.
The need for electorates to ensure they collect their PVCs to guarantee lawful participation in the forthcoming general elections was also emphasized. INEC is assuring Nigerians of a safe environment for the smooth conduct of the general elections while appealing to the public for cooperation to achieve greater results. From Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
The Defense Headquarters has reassured Nigerians that soldiers and officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces will remain apolitical and act professionally during the 2023 general elections. The Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabor gave the assurance while receiving the President, Nigerian Bar Association, during a visit to the Defense Headquarters.
Also taking measures by virtue of training, focused training, to ensure that should we have any reason to assist the police during the 2023 election to be professional, we will be apolitical, we will be professional in disposition, and enough content that Nigerians should have faith in that declaration we made.
I saw one time your complaint about the fact that the delay in the trial of cases hampers the effort of the military in the fight against terrorism. We are concerned. And when I see that the Chief of Defense Staff's leadership focus for the armed forces is to foster a professional armed forces capable of effectively meeting constitutional imperatives, leaves me with no doubt that this is an armed forces that is going to conduct its responsibility with respect for the rule of law. And that is why we will not shy away to identify with the armed forces under your leadership because of this very declaration.
The NBA president also commended the Nigerian military for protecting the nation and paid tribute to the nation's fallen heroes. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has pledged to replicate his numerous achievements as Kano State Governor if elected as president in 2023. This was during his visit to Ekiti State as part of a campaign tour of the southwest part of the country to get votes ahead of the elections. Ulukemi Sani reports.
The first assignment of Rabiu Kwankwaso in Ado-Ekiti was the commissioning of the newly renovated State Secretariat of the New Nigeria People's Party on Ajilosun Road, where he addressed his supporters and party faithful. He said if elected president, his administration would prioritize security, health, fighting corruption, as well as road construction. He said he would build 500 schools to improve standard of education in Nigeria.
We have decided in our blueprint, which is available online, that we thought it was necessary to form what we call community participation and orientation committees in all the 8,809 wards that we have today in this country. So I'm very happy that we have done that, and the combination, of course, is there. It involves the traditional ruler.
The former Minister of Defense and one-time Governor of Kano State was at the Palace of the Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, Oba Rufus Adejugbe, in Ado-Ekiti. Olukemi Sani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Labour Party has made a commitment to seek divine intervention for its candidate. At a prayer rally in collaboration with the Nigeria Interfaith Alliance, religious leaders re-echoed the supremacy of God, only who can give power. David Ire reports.
Leaders across religious faiths are here speaking in one voice as ambassadors of peace to intercede for Labour Party and its presidential candidate, with our conviction that the victory of Peter Obi will fast-track the growth of the country. They are also seeking God's protection for all the players throughout the campaigns and a peaceful 2023 general election.
People from the 33 states of the Federation, they have come together, Christians and Muslims and even traditionalists, to declare that Peter Obi is not an evil candidate. He is a Nigerian with character, he is a Nigerian with conscience, and 2023 we have declared and endorsed him to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
For the happiness of friends, the happiness of people, Abuja, Nigeria, every part of Nigeria, no group with Nigeria will regret what is coming.
The party is also looking forward to betting a Nigeria where the people will be united, irrespective of religion and tribe, with honest, diligent and just leaders.
We have united with one purpose. In the name of God that created heaven and earth, Muslims, Christians, and other religions have come together to call on the Creator. There's nothing more powerful than this.
The party plans to hold the prayer rally across various states of the Federation before the 2023 general election. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
The wife of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says she appreciates the goodwill her husband enjoys, which is increasing support and brightening the chances of the Tinubu-Shettima ticket. This was at an engagement with spouses of APC members of the House of Representatives in the 9th National Assembly, where the role of women in ensuring electoral victory came to the fore. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Having launched the women wing of the 2023 Tinubu-Shettima presidential campaign in 5 out of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the team, led by the chairman, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is not resting on its oars in mobilizing more support for the APC. In view of the increasing political consciousness, particularly among the women folk, these spouses of APC members in the House of Representatives in the current 9th National Assembly have expressed willingness to actively participate to deliver the APC at the polls come February 2023.
most of us are, well, clearly we are already involved in politics because we are the spouses of politicians. We have already been involved in the past in the grassroots. We know how important it is to be with the people at the grassroots, and we will just continue doing the same.
Things have changed from our time. The women are up and doing, and then we can count on them to reach, the grassroots for us. And we believe that, we've been tested, we can still do it again.
Oluremi Tinubu told her visitors that positive action speaks louder than words. Now that the D-Day draws ever closer, she encouraged them to bring their wealth of experience and influence to bear in the party's aspirations with door-to-door campaigns. In Abuja, Stalio Gwanara, NTA News.
We have more updates from Maiduguri, and Yagumsu is standing by.
Government has awarded scholarship to 300 orphans of counter-insurgency volunteers comprising members of civilian joint task force, vigilantes and hunters. The first phase of scholarship checks was presented to the beneficiaries by the Borno State Commissioner for Education, Lawan Abawakilbi. Abubakar Musa reports.
The disbursement of first tranche of 300 million naira scholarship grant to these 300 orphans of counter-insurgency volunteers is in line with Governor Babagana Umara's determination to give families of the heroes a new lease of life for the unprecedented sacrifice made to restore lasting peace to Borno. According to the chairman of the scholarship committee, Engineer Lawan Abawakilbi, guidance are to choose schools of their choices for the awards, while any amount of money that will remain after settling the educational bill will be given to the beneficiaries as upkeep.
Their parents paid the ultimate price in ensuring that peace returns to the state. So we are paying back by taking care of their children.
He further explained that out of the 60 million naira disbursed, 200,000 naira is to be given annually to each beneficiary, which is expected to cover tuition fees, uniforms, and books. Representative of the Ministry of Justice, Yagana Ghazali, notified the guidance that a bond form is attached to the original forms, adding that all legal steps will be taken to sustain studies of the beneficiaries. Director of Finance, Borno State Scholarship Board, Babagana Gambomi, dwelt on modalities of the disbursement. The beneficiaries did not only describe the administration of Professor Babagana Umara as responsive, but assured to study hard towards reciprocating what they describe as unprecedented intervention. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA.
Towards improving the productivity of fish farmers, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with Federal College of Freshwater Fisheries Technology, Baga, have organized a 3-day vocational training for youth and women on fish farming in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Naja'atu Hassan reports.
The vocational training is an annual event aimed at enhancing fisheries and aquaculture personnel capable of providing technical experts in various fish farming, as well as assist in boat designing and building, among others. Provost of the college, Professor Bakomodu, lauded President Muhammadu Buhari for the giant strides in making the college a role model despite numerous challenges. He said one of the mandates of the college is to produce fisheries artisans, aquaculture assistants capable of applying modern technology to boost fish production on sustainable level in the nation.
If somebody who has a zeal on to have a self-sufficient, this is the right time when he or she can able to stand by knowing the technical how and then the practical aspect of it, and having the equipment with him or her can able to stand by itself. That is a sustainable development for the future coming.
Other critical stakeholders of the college and in farming sector described the training as timely, considering the economic situation worldwide, saying it will go a long way in enhancing food security, income, employment, as well as boost economic of the country. They charged participants to use this lifetime opportunity and build themselves. In Maiduguri, Naja'atu Hassan, NTA News.
Time for a break. When we return, Nationwide continues with Naja'atu in Abuja.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
Especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years. If she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is there, Paris?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
Thanks for staying tuned. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigerian youth remain the promise of a better future, and solving their problems remains his administration's top priority. This was while exchanging views with a delegation from the Abu Dhabi Foundation, led by Secretary General Sheikh Al Mahfoud bin Bayah. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The delegation from the Abu Dhabi Foundation had come to formally invite President Muhammadu Buhari to attend the conferment upon him its prestigious award in recognition of his outstanding achievements in promoting peace and security. The conferment is in line with the foundation's work in fighting religious extremism and promoting peaceful coexistence and dialogue amongst all religions, as explained by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu.
It's an important moment for the President, coming at a time when two things are happening simultaneously. One is that there is a downward trend in terrorism, in banditry, in kidnapping, farmer-herder clashes. In our country, things are coming down. And also generally, there is increasing activity by the government of Nigeria to stabilize the entire West African region. And there is a recognition of the fact that, the world is watching, they're seeing what it's doing, and they're coming to say, thank you to Nigeria.
President Buhari said the commitment of the foundation in promoting multi-faith dialogue is as important to the world as it is to Nigeria. He spoke about the need to raise generations of youth devoid of religious extremism and bigotry, urging the group to continue to target the young people who are the promise of the future.
President is emphatic that all of these things that are going on, the efforts to stabilize the country and also create peace in neighboring countries, it is for the future of our young people who must be given a future that is free of intolerance, one rich in accommodation, full of brotherliness.
President Buhari's engagements in Washington, D.C. continue. Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Yobe State's investment in the health sector is yielding the desired results as indicated by a survey which shows significant improvement in maternal and child health indices in the state. Yunusa Suleiman has the details.
Is in fulfillment of Governor Memala Bunu's pledge during his inaugural speech in 2019 of either upgrading, rehabilitating, or constructing at least one functional primary health care center in each of the 178 political wards in the state. This marks the official inauguration of Gwange Primary Health Care Center in Damaturu, one out of the 138 recently constructed by Yobe State government in its drive to make quality health care services accessible and affordable to people in the state.
One of the cardinal objectives of our administration is to provide quality healthcare delivery, to reduce mortality and morbidity rates due to communicable diseases and also reverse the prevalence of non-communicable diseases, to meet global targets and significantly increase life expectancy and quality of life of our citizens.
Strengthening primary healthcare system is key to attaining universal health coverage and achieving the health-related sustainable development goals, as primary healthcare addresses the health needs of all patients at the community level, integrating healthcare prevention, promotion, and education.
As the construction of the remaining 40 primary healthcare centers is underway, another set of customized tricycle ambulances were also launched to facilitate the transportation of expectant mothers in labor or other emergencies from hard-to-reach communities to primary healthcare centers, as well as referral to either secondary or tertiary health facilities. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
As part of the federal government road intervention project, a 1.27-kilometer road rehabilitation project has been completed and inaugurated for use at the Federal Medical Center Owo in Ondo State. Toyin Batire reports.
2.7 kilometers rehabilitated internal roads of the Federal Medical Center of Ondo State is part of the 83 internal road project intervention of the federal government in federal health facilities across Nigeria. The inauguration of the project is an attestation that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is bridging the gap of infrastructural needs through a gradual process of repairs and construction.
The road you are seeing here is of the highest quality, highest grade, best grade you can find. Now what is left is for the school authority to ensure it is properly put to good use and not misused.
Members of the Federal Medical Center or community are grateful because the road's rehabilitation is easing inter-hospital movement.
It's a real boost to the work that we do here. Even patients' relatives, seeing the ambient of the environment, have the feel that they will get healed here.
Federal Medical Center is a public multi-specialist healthcare center in Ondo State that provides 24 hours healthcare services. From Owo, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB says from 1st of January 2023, it will cease to receive communication through letter writing from tertiary institutions and their regulatory agencies. The JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishaq Oluyede, made this known during an intensive training with stakeholders on the use of the Integrated Brochure and Syllabus System and Central Admissions Processing System platforms. Chidebere Onya reports.
Admissions Processing System (CAPS) and Integrated Brochure and Syllabus System (IBAS) are service platforms designed to assist JAMB to provide quality and efficient service speedily. Achieving this objective informed the gathering of JAMB, tertiary institutions and other regulatory agencies in the education sector to rub minds on the workability of JAMB's digitized communication platforms to ensure that every user is able to navigate both platforms effectively.
It is mandatory from 1st January of 2023 that communication and admission and curriculum to the institution will be done on this platform. So we will no longer tolerate papers. All those kind of things that we left to the past, we're not getting automated. The way we are that she wants to by trying to write down or drive to Abuja or anyone who this central admission process, what we call CAPS, has been on and is going on effectively well. But there are challenges, of course, that's the essence of this intensive training.
Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, maintained that IBAS and CAPS innovations would not only ensure efficiency in operation, but would enable the board to archive its records. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onyea, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has pledged more support to micro and small-scale businesses being cardinal indices for employment and economic growth in the country. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, made the pledge during a special day at the 43rd Kano International Trade Fair. Yahana Hassan reports.
Unlocking the export opportunities through African Continental Free Trade Area for Nigeria's economic growth and development, the theme for this year's Kano International Trade Fair. The Directorate of Employment Special Day was hosted to showcase the remarkable achievements among micro and small businesses and how Nigerian youth can engage themselves through the production of made-in-Nigeria products.
The end product of most of their work. These are of international standards. There are things that, when properly packaged, if and when properly packaged, we can export, and earn foreign exchange.
David Dang from Plateau State is into coffee production, processing, and marketing. He started from 5 coffee trees and now owns more than 2,000 trees.
This space is a very, very large space, and I think just starting from one coffee, one product, it's a big, a very long chain and has different value chain. So I've encouraged more youths to participate.
Just like David, other participants from far and near at the NDE pavilion called on youth to engage themselves in one trade or the other, rather than waiting for government to provide them with one.
I'm begging the youth that they should always have a handwork to do that. One day you can help them for a future.
Doing this, David and his partners alike believe will reduce unemployment and promote financial and social inclusion among Nigerians. In Kano, Yahana Sahasa, NTA.
Thank you, Yahanasu. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, have inaugurated new anti-corruption and transparency units of the Corps nationwide. Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the initiative is aimed at curbing sharp practices in the Corps.
Building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions are the essential tools in achieving sustainable development in public service. These are the 55 new inductees taking oath with promise to ensure a corrupt-free organization. Actions speak louder than voice. The Commandant General is giving his commitment to provide support in achieving the set goals.
The country is preparing for elections, and this active personnel, now that we have been inducted, it will help you to enshrine integrity in the conduct of personnel in the election period. They would enlighten both NSCD personnel and civilians about the need for integrity as well as anti-corruption stance of the Corps for elections.
Activities do that support of organizations, building strong institutions and better works through the stages such as periodic declaration of on and against corruption.
Upholding ethics and maintaining the standard of operations, the CG said is the challenge before the unit heads to record another success in the ICPC integrity assessment. Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The Niger Kogi Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has displayed its seizures in the month of November 2022 with duty paid valued of more than 165 million naira. Fatima Usman reports.
It has become the tradition of the Niger Kogi Command of the Nigerian Customs Service to showcase its monthly seizures from smugglers of contrabands and invaders of tax duties. For the month of November 2022, the command opened its warehouse to reveal 229 cartons of pharmaceutical drugs, 4 bales of footwear, 657 cartons of canned fish, and 305 cartons of bar soap. Also on display were 15 vehicles, with 3 bearing Federal Inland Revenue Service number plates to evade tax.
Whether the person just use that number plate to disguise, or this, I cannot say FR, because FR, they are equally collecting tax like us. So I don't think they can evade duty. Investigation will surely reveal that. The command has been able to achieve all these successes thanks to improved capacity and logistics received from the Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired. We also have a robust interagency collaboration and intelligence sharing among sister agencies, as well as getting information from patriotic Nigerians.
Command thereafter disclosed 22,670,706 naira as revenue generated in the month under review from demand notice. In Mina, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
And that report concludes the news on Nationwide. Thanks for watching. Remember to keep supporting NTA's campaign against rape and rapists.